good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you thirsty bunch of beer drinkers, whenever and wherever you're tuning in from. Thanks for pressing play and supporting a Canadian podcast. I'm Troy Burtch with Great Lakes, Ontario's local brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery based here in Etobicoke who brings you this here Between Two Fermenters, the podcast where craft beer and conversation collide, straight from the tanks to your ears. Now, boy, it's been a busy time of late. I was just in Ottawa with the Coalition of Canadian Independent Craft Brewers talking to federal politicians and bureaucrats on beer excise tax modernization, something we desperately need, low-risk drinking guidelines, and why a certain bill in the Senate really is an unreal bill. It's ridiculous. Had some great beers while out there too, thanks to Beyond the Pale, Tooth and Nail, Dominion City, all good friends, all great beers. Then there's been this whole new wholesale markup announcement with big changes coming in the province, along with the planning of the annual Ontario Craft Brewers Conference. Over at GLB, we've been busy hustling to get beer out to stores and bars across the province in a challenging time for distribution. Launched a number of new beers to the LCBO like Stalking Toe, Clementine Pale Ale, Fighting Weight Session IPA, and everyone's favorite Thrust, an IPA. And just came off another very fun, successful GLB Beer Week. So we hit pause for a bit on the podcast, but now, after taking that little break, we're back with a whole bunch of scheduled guests to take us into the new year. In the coming weeks, you're going to hear from a number of amazing individuals who continue to do great things in our industry, so stay tuned for more info on that. But with all that out of the way, on today's episode of the pod, I'm joined by Emma Hambrock, inside sales representative at Fairweather Brewing in Hamilton, Ontario, the Hammer. Fairweather has quickly become a much respected craft brewery since opening in 2017 in West Hamilton's Ainsley Wood neighborhood. They're well known for their balanced beers, beautiful label design, fun-loving spirit, creative releases, and a tap room that feels like a second home to anyone who walks through the doors. Emma has been a huge part of that story, wearing just about every hat possible since joining the team, which was right at the beginning, there when Fairweather opened their doors. Her infectious smile, above and beyond hospitality values, welcoming attitude, and a passion for the beer and the space have won over customers since day one, and she is, a strong thread that weaves through the fabric of the business and the Hamilton beer community as well. We're going to chat about her path into the brewing industry, the evolution of Fairweather, the vibrant Hamilton beer scene, and her involvement in this year's Ontario Craft Brewers Conference, which just so happens to be taking place in her hometown this week. We're going to get into all that and more, so buckle up, grab a fresh one, crack it open, and let's get right at it. Hang tight. We'll be right back with Emma.
It's Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery. We believe in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. It's Great Lakes Brewery. Order online for free local home delivery. In the GTA, good times and amazing beer. That's GLB.
Hello, Emma.
Hi. Sorry, this is great. Okay, now I'm in. This is great.
Yeah, you're here. You made it. Thanks for making the trek from Hamilton to join us in the studio here in glorious South Etobicoke.
Beautiful.
How was the drive?
Not so bad.
Not so bad?
Not
That's
so
good.
bad.
Yeah, the Gardeners opened back up. That's, here in Toronto, leads into the QEW, but it's been a lot better this week getting to and from different parts of the city.
I was expecting chaos with the sports games and things, but I think I made it just in time before all that.
How have you been lately?
So good. Everything at the brewery is great, but it is so busy. A lot of changes, a lot of new stuff happening for us. But ultimately, things are
great.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well, congrats are in order because you became an aunt recently.
Yes.
Tyler Tibbetts, who is a longtime GLB colleague of mine, and your sister welcomed a beautiful baby back in March, and it seems like yesterday that happened.
Oh my gosh, 7 months old.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What's it been like?
You know what? I've been an aunt for 21 years.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting story.
So it's just happening again, but now I'm like old enough to actually know what's going on, which is really great. He's just the sweetest, bestest little guy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think he's going to be a lion today for Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Bless him.
And you got married too. Any more weird magic moments?
You know what? I feel like we have like the sweetest, most fabulous little journey. Paul's the coolest. Yeah. And now, we just decided to scoot up to the hilltop in Hamilton, and you can see the view of the bay, the harbor, everything. And
and you had a nice beer for that. Did you not? Yeah.
I actually had some champagne.
Oh, yeah.
Proper champagne. Yeah.
But weird magic. I like the name of the beer. That's what I'm trying to lead you into here. Didn't you have a good beer?
Yes. Yeah. Dana and I put a little secret GLB beer together for us. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes,
so speaking of beer, let's grab a beer. There's a fighting weight session IPA for us to sample responsibly because we're recording this pretty early in the day. So crack that sucker open. Nicely done. And let's get right to it. So I mentioned at the beginning that you're with Fairweather as an inside sales rep at the brewery. And we're going to get into all things Fairweather shortly. But before we get there, I want to know how you got into the brewing industry. So tell me a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. You know, it was so funny. Driving down Lakeshore is... My sister went to Humber. Okay. And that's when she was with Tyler when they first got together. And I was obsessed with them. And leaving, my hometown and coming out here to Etobicoke where it was just all different kinds of food and just like felt like I would have been at the 17, 18 years old. Okay. And I hadn't even had Indian food. So that's like where I was at. And I was so excited to just like try all the new things. And I think when you're exploring new foods and things, it's just hand in hand, comes beer. And I'm actually almost glad. I thought you might bring a pumpkin beer. And I felt like if you did, I would have just started crying because I feel like that's actually for me where a lot of that started 10 years ago. Yeah. Like getting into the, I feel like it's a gateway beer. Yeah. To not really know much about beer. I was just trying to like rack my brain when I knew I was coming on here thinking, how did I get into this? And, where did it all start? And I remember having something like it, and every brewery was making a pumpkin beer and they still are. Like it's so huge in the LCBO. And I think being in the industry, now it's been 10 years for me. You look at a pumpkin beer and you're like, oh, I got pumpkin beer. But
hey.
No, I think there's such an important place for it. It was where probably a lot of people, where their kind of story begins. It's exciting and it's something so new. And I honestly think that's where I probably haven't had one in I don't know how long, but I probably would have started crying if I had it. Like, this is where it all began.
So it began, you were visiting here at Humber and seeing all the beers that were around, and Tyler was with Great Lakes, so you were drinking some of those beers. But how did you get into the industry?
Yeah, so actually both Tyler and I got hired. We both like just started falling in love with beer. My sister and the three of us were going out everywhere. We both were like, we got to find jobs in beer. And Tyler applied at Great Lakes and I applied at Silversmith because I was living in Niagara at the time. And if you've ever been into Silversmith Brewing in Virgil, it is the most magical little place. You walk in and they've kind of fixed up and restored this old church. And it literally swept me off my feet. I was just in awe. And I was like, I need to work here. This place is magical. And I think the really cool thing with Silversmith too at the time, and probably still now, they only did like a select few beers and they focused on a black lager. Mm-hmm. And I remember being at that time, again, 10 years ago, so confused, like, a lager? I know lager. This isn't lager. And then getting to like, that's where I feel like I dove in headfirst into education of like understanding, how does this become? And at that time, Rom, the owner of Fairweather, was the bar manager.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So he saw that I was super keen and interested to like learn more. And he was right there to be like, you know what? Let me tell you.
So what were you doing there? You're doing like
I was just
tap
working
room?
Working in the tap room. Yeah. I had another job. I was working something entirely outside of beer. And my evenings were all beer. And Rom would stay late with me and show me videos about, the monks and where beer sort of originated, the Belgian styles of beer and really got to the root of a lot of that while I was I was so curious.
So is that like you got the job, and was that once you started learning and the education coming along with working and trying the new beers, was that you're like, aha, I want to work in this industry for good?
I think how it all starts is you have your first few beers and you start going to different breweries and you're like, I know everything about craft beer, and this applies to any industry or thing. And then you start learning about it and you're like, I know nothing about craft beer or beer in general. So I think I thought I knew that's what I wanted to do. And the more I learned, I was like, oh yeah, this is it for me.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned Rom, a big, maybe a early influencer or mentor to you?
Entirely. Yeah. He, like I said, I think he could see that I was super interested, and he had just come out of the Brewmaster program. And so he had lots of answers for me. And I think, again, that this would have been 2015. So 10 years ago, the industry was just, I feel like, really starting to explode. And it was just so exciting at that time. So
before we get to Fairweather, what did that role teach you at Silversmith? What was it that, you took with you to adapt into today's position at Fairweather? Yeah,
I feel like it was honestly everything. I was given tons of opportunity to take responsibility. I became a shift manager pretty quickly, and they noticed I was super into the educational side. So I started running little educational sessions with the staff. I started doing guided tours pretty quickly, and all during that time, Rom was offered the brew house to start brewing in Hamilton, or we were deciding where he wanted to do that. Yeah. And so he sort of guided me that whole sort of way.
Nice. Yeah. And then you made the switch to Fairweather right when the doors opened.
I would say even before.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was still working at Silversmith. Rom had left to start Fairweather. He found the space in the west side of Hamilton and started construction and things right away. And I would drive up from Niagara every week just to poke my head around and be like, hey, what's going on in here? What can I do? And I was sanding floors and they were putting the fridge together. I'm cocking the fridge in there, and I think of all the funny little things looking around. I'm like, painted all those walls, all of it. I just wanted to be involved.
You got your handprints in concrete, like
That's funny. We do have a spot like that.
Do you really?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a neat fact about Fairweather then.
There you go.
So you were in that role for a while, and then I looked on LinkedIn. You had the title of generalist. I like that. So I mentioned, you're an inside sales rep now, but like any small brewery, I assume you do more than that today.
Totally.
So tell me about a day in the life of Emma at the brewery. And first, maybe say what a generalist is, and then walk through your new role and what you do today.
Yeah, I don't even know if that is the appropriate term. I couldn't find anything that
wearer of hats, wearer of all hats.
Yeah, that's right. Hat juggler, if you will. Early days, it was Rom and Brent, the founders and owners, and myself.
Yep.
And I was working in the taproom, kind of like created, the SOPs down to everything. It was just me up there for the first however many months of just kind of just working 6 days a week. I was we were in it. And so a lot of customer facing, educating people in the neighborhood, like who we were, what we're about. And eventually, gathered a bit of a team. I then actually took a cheeky little 2-month hiatus, and I drove to the West Coast and back, and I hit 50 breweries.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
That's an interesting. Oh, tell me about that story.
Yeah, it was amazing. I started.
What was your favorite brewery on that 50 brewery visit?
That's a huge.
So many.
Yeah. But I loved. I started in Wisconsin. Not Wisconsin, Michigan, and then kind of drove down through Chicago, Wisconsin, and I went to New Glarus in Wisconsin. Okay. That was really cool.
That's cool.
They had just like a self-guided, and I just brought them a beer. Everywhere I went, I just brought a bottle of our beer, and people were so great to me. It was so fun. But when you get out to Vancouver at that time, I had a cousin that lived there. I think that particular week or two I stayed in Vancouver, I think I hit
whole
20
bunch.
20 breweries
Yeah.
out there. Got to go to Hoyne, which is where our
So on the island.
Yep, took my car out there, went out to the island. That's where our original brew house is from. Is Sean
really?
Hoyne, actually. Yeah.
Sean Hoyne's brewery. Oh, nice.
Rom helped start Hoyne Brewing out there, and that's sort of
Look at
how
it all
Fairweather
circles
came to
back
be.
there. So did you, what was the purpose of that trip? You just wanted to go explore breweries?
It was a lot of breweries, a lot of
Self-explore-
exploration. Yeah, but it was definitely centered around like food and beer for
Okay,
sure.
nice.
Yeah, I brought my snowboard, did a bit of that.
And have you taken some of the things you've seen at other breweries, or you at that time, all the breweries that you hit, did you learn from some of them and take stuff back to Fairweather?
Absolutely. Yeah. The things that even just I think about the importance of those front facing the staff there, and what that does to your experience. That is everything. You know, making sure you have a great team out front is just like everything.
Just
to
a
me.
nod and say hello, right? Yeah. So let's go to today. You're inside sales rep. So what is that, and what do you do? Like, what's a day look like?
Yeah.
For you?
Well, I will kind of go back to from managing the tap room, then the pandemic happened. Then our team got really small again. And that's, I think, why I called the role generalist, because there was days where they were like, Emma, we need you on the filler, because there was only so many people really that were comfortable coming to work or whatever. So we built, Ram and Brent built like a 4-head counter pressure, like, 4-head filler. We used that up until 2020 to do all of our packaging. So some days, I'm on the canning line. Other days, you're out serving beers out of a plastic window or whatever. and then coming back from that trip and everything too, I made a tiered educational beer program for all of our staff. I think that after learning that and seeing what that sort of meant for your relationship with a brewery is when the staff are educated and they can help guide you on your little beer adventure, because like I was saying at the very beginning, coming back to that, like, you have to go back and remember what it was like to not really know anything, but to be curious and like help people in that journey. So
like Silversmith would be like black lager. What's that? And you want staff to educate the consumer on what an actual black lager is, not just saying, it's a lager, but it's dark.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. People would come in and be like, I don't like dark beer. And be like, you don't understand. Let me tell you.
That's an opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've had to do a lot of that at Fairweather too, because, sour beers is one of our bigger, avenues that of beers that we make, and educating people around what a sour beer is. And things like adding fruit, different, all the different hop varietals. People are excited, and you just have to like really engage. And so that was part of my little tasks that I decided to make, and that's still something we use today. I think it adds a lot of value for the customer, and it's also something I thought was really important to do is, as being a woman in the industry, I find I could be standing beside a bearded dude that doesn't know anything, but they look like they belong in the industry, and people will eye contact
you to them.
100%.
Yeah.
And
I've been in this industry a long time, and that, you'd wish it doesn't happen, but it still happens to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I thought, if we could be the place, everyone is super educated, and everyone is a great resource. That was my goal. So that was part of that journey. And then eventually sales needed some support. There was only one fella in sales at the time. And so I was helping process orders while doing all these other kind of odds and ends. But we got 3 delivery drivers. So nowadays it's a lot of logistics, and I'm getting those boys on the road every day. We service, Toronto bars and restaurants, Hamilton bars and restaurants. We go down to Niagara, out to London. I'm going up to Barrie and Whitby, all of KW, Guelph. They're so great to us, but we're everywhere. So that's super busy. But yeah, our sales team is 2 people, which is...
So one outside, one inside.
and you know what? Sometimes I'm on the road. I've got a delivery with me in the truck now.
That's what I'm saying about like the wearer of hats in a small brewery. We're much larger than Fairweather at Great Lakes, but it's still, if you're in this industry, your job title might be one thing on a business card, but it's not 100% what you're doing.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's great though. I think there was very stressful at times, especially being a young person without any business experience, being like, oh my God, what is next? I don't even, but now I think I've just become super agile. Like, okay, we need someone to fill this hole. I kind of picture it. I was thinking about it on the way here. That's like Fairweather and probably most small businesses. I feel like I listened to the podcast with, when you were chatting with Brad from Wellington, and then you guys being so old, like the brewery, 40 years old. Like, it's amazing that you guys have done all of this crap that we're going through, all of the growing pains. And I'm sure there continues to be more.
Just different kinds,
but to have that much experience kind of throughout the business is so huge. I think, we are like, it's like once the pants get too tight, you wait, builds up, and then you need a new loop in your belt, if that makes sense. And we're kind of at a place right now, like where we probably need a larger sales team, but we're just waiting until we know exactly what the role is going to be and how they're going to fit into our small little family, because the whole team is maybe 20 people. Yeah. And we're so close and we work so well together. We just always want to make sure we have the right personalities,
the right fit, the right culture. Yeah. So Fairweather now, let's talk about it. We've already touched on some things, and I love the fact that there are some handprints in the cement. I love the fact that you just mentioned there's 20 people and there's only 2 people running the sales department. So the brewery itself, I've been there a number of times, and I do love it. I think your tap room is, personally saying this, it's one of my favorite tap rooms in this province. Because it's a warm and inviting place, but it's aesthetically pleasing. You have the nice, the back, if you do go to the back, like the event space. And it's everything seems so well put together. So the floor is yours. Tell me all about the brewery. How did it come to be? You mentioned Rom got the space in 2017. But yeah, I want to know the history, the name. How did the name come to be? And the floor is yours. Just give me everything.
Okay, I'll just story vomit for you.
Story vomit.
Cool. Okay. I'm
not taking that name either. That's not a name for a beer. Back in the day, Great Lakes might have stole that. Yeah.
I love it. So Rom was able to, I think all of this came to be because of Jean Hoyne and the brew house that he was able to send over. Because as we know, it's so expensive to start a brewery, the capital you need, right? So we were super fortunate to be able to find a large space. And I think a lot of breweries maybe just don't have the luxury of able to start in such a large place. We have 15,000 square feet. Yeah. So with a 10-hectare brew house, which is a funny thought.
It is. It's neat to see when you go in and see the small little brew house and for the size. Space.
But exciting news, as of this very moment we are speaking, we are installing a 30-hectare brew house.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So that'll make things a lot easier for us. We just, as of last February, brought high grade into the LCBO, which kind of changes things as far as volume and stuff. I think something we really, for a long time, the heart of something that was really important to Fairweather was being able to brew beers that we wanted to drink and we were excited about. And we were small enough still that we could release a beer almost every week. And we're still able to maintain that, which is kind of crazy. But I think for our bars and restaurants, the accounts that we work with, I think that's such a valuable thing.
For sure, yeah. Keeps things fresh and interesting.
Yeah, right? People, that weekly newsletter, people are like, what's this week? Which is the best. We're so fortunate to be able to do that. But I think we were so afraid of the LCBO for a long time because we're like, are we going to have to just stick to a plan?
One beer, like steam whistle,
yeah. Which is such a beautiful thing too. Back to Silversmith too, with the black lager. Like that was the thing. And I think our business model is just so different, and we're so lucky that we can do that. But yeah, Fairweather, that a lot of these little like creative things, the labels, the package, it's like this, the experiences, I think, was always Rom's goal. Rom and Brent work so well together. They're the greatest little team and such excellent bosses. And I'd say that like Rom often has these really big creative ideas, and Brent he's the money guy. So there's someone kind of pulling him back down to earth.
One's a visionary, one's an integrator. Yeah.
But Brent, is able to make things happen too. Like creates a lot of that for the team. So it's an incredible duo that we all have as bosses. They're the best. Fairweather, the name, I believe, came from Rom speaking with his grandfather, who I think is 101, his grandfather-in-law.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, very intelligent.
Probably a beer
fella.
drinker.
Yes. And I believe he had sort of spoke to Rom about explaining what a Fairweather friend is, when things are good. And I think whether this is Rom's intention or not, I'm going to just say this is what I tell people because I think it's a romantic little story.
Well, before you say it, I do think, and I think you're the storyteller of the brand.
Nice. Thanks.
Every brewery needs a person that is the storyteller, that shapes the story and makes sure the customers know the story, and someone has to do it. Because you've been there since before day one and you ran the tap room and you were the front facing person of the brewery. That's why I think you're the storyteller. So
I'm just going to wear that hat too.
There you go. Add that to your new title. Generalist storyteller in in-house sales or inside sales.
I love it. I think one of the bigger things from the story of being a Fairweather friend is, when times are good, it's like the people on a bandwagon, right? But we've only ever wanted to do our absolute best, and there's always room to grow. And I think about when we were starting and how far we've come. But I think about if something were to go in a different direction and we, lost our kind of goals and our focus, we have all these fans and these people that love Fairweather. And if we were to ever not hold up our end of the bargain, you jump off that Fairweather bandwagon. We want to do our very best, and we want you to be with us when things are good. And hopefully they're always good, but you know what I mean?
But those are the people that stick around when times get tough too.
But if we're not producing a product, you know what I mean?
Yes,
you're right. We
100%.
don't deserve your. We want to just make sure that what we're doing is the absolute best that we can.
You mentioned how the brewery's evolved. So that is my question. My next question is, how has the brewery evolved since the doors opened in 2017? So you mentioned bottles in the past. Mm-hmm. We know the bottles are not a thing anymore.
Right.
But how has the brewery evolved from those early days to today?
The team has grown so much. Because like I said, there was a time...
It went from 3 to 20.
Maybe 23 that we have now, we have an awesome team in the back. I think there's also 3 back there now.
From the beers to the layout, the look.
I think our vision early days, I remember Rom wanting to brew a grisette.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been, 8 years ago. And we were so excited by I think a lot of influence, Belgian styles and saisons and things. But you slowly realize that's not what sells.
Yeah.
So
you could have learned from us. We used to do Hissy Fit Grisette and Chill Winston Grisette. And
there you go.
We had to explain what a grisette is over and over, and gray coats of the Belgians and the coal mines and all that. And to be honest, though, those beers are spectacular. Grisettes are so good and so refreshing.
So underrated. I know.
Low ABV, Belgian. Beautiful.
Those table beers, things that you can just share but have a pile of. And it's and I think that's where... you have to be nimble in the industry, and I think we realized, okay, this has been fun, but we also love, IPAs and sours, and we offered all of those at that early days. We're doing different iterations of things. We didn't call it high grade yet, but that high grade was always the goal. And I think, it's funny starting from a place where you maybe have a vision and then quickly you get some really great reactions of some things you're brewing and people are excited about. And I think the community really helped us shape exactly what we wanted to be. I think about the opportunity that Beertown gave us. They brought us on as a rotational sour line. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we'd be able to release as many sours as we have been able to release over the last probably 4 or 5 years or however long we've been having that rotational sour line. And, things like that kind of dictate what we're able to do and how creative we can get. Our customer base too in the tap room, we like to hear what people want, and
it's like research. It's the tap room provides. You watch those movies or Mad Men where they're doing like a test behind the glass and they're watching how people react to stuff. But you get to do that in a tap room in real time with conversation. And there's been so many beers. The beer you're drinking here, Fighting Weight, actually came to be because we brewed it a couple times and the customers just kept saying, we want this. We want more of this.
Yeah.
Can you do it again? Oh, it's 100 calories. Can you do it again? Like I'm watching my calorie intake, caloric intake. Anyway, so it's, you're absolutely right. The tap room provides that testing ground, if you will. What's your favorite beer in the portfolio?
Ooh, great question. I think.
Mine from Fairweather.
I don't know.
No? What'd you bring?
Oh, some Donna?
Oh, Donna. I love Donna.
You know what? You guys are the best. I brought a case of Donna for everyone at the team. I know that.
The Great Lakes, for some reason, we all like Donna.
We sell some beer to Bridens, and they say that sometimes the GLB guys get into it. And I'm like, that's such a compliment. Oh, God, you guys are the best. I would say, like, for a full-time SKU, that's something that we have around all the time. That is like, I'll bring that anywhere. That is the whole package, the can, everything. It is like a complete piece of art. I love it. But in the summer, we brew another lager beer. A lager. It's called Numa, and it's light lager with lime. And I don't care what anyone says, like, after a long day, like, that is that is everything.
Time and place for beer, right? That's why beer's so awesome. There's a time and place for them.
Yeah.
What's it like working with the Fairweather team day to day? You mentioned that the Rom and Brent, the co-founders and owners, and are a good duo. But you went from 3 to 20 to 23. Yeah. What's it like working with the team?
Yeah. So we have like a little office crew that are like full-time. And so I work really closely with Natalie, of course, my sales partner, and she's incredible. She is like the person you ask about anything, what's new, what's upcoming, what's hot, and she knows everything. She's such a foodie. She went to she took the brewmaster program as well. She's super educated. She also, I think, went to culinary school. She's got like an amazing background and is like the friendliest human being if you've never met her.
And loves beer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. She's incredible. So very lucky that I get to work closely with her. And Thomas, our brewmaster, boy, we laugh. He's great. Our whole group, it's we're very lucky. And the taproom staff, we do an annual camping trip. So anytime there's maybe some summer hires that I don't get to see very much because I'm in the office or on the road, we all go camping together, and you get to meet everyone out on the lake, and it's just the team is just great.
Camping together. What is that like? That's a company-wide thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh. We're small enough where you can still just get away with it. Shut the brewery down, and we go, the last few years we've been to Rock Point, I believe. Rock Point. We went to Rock Point, Turkey Point.
Something point, another point.
Yeah. So we just go like end of summer is just sort of like a thank you to everyone for like hauling ass in the summer. Yeah. And we just camp and cook and crush beers, bring a keg out to the beach. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but we do it.
We're changing the laws in Ontario all the time.
That's right.
Upper Canada, a brewery that doesn't exist anymore, but it was one of the kind of the first wave of craft breweries in Ontario post-prohibition. They used to take their teams canoeing and give them paddles and stuff.
Fantastic.
So maybe there's an idea for you guys.
Love that.
Everyone some paddles.
Yeah, that's some teamwork stuff. I feel like we did buy floating rafts and had 2 of them so that our plan was to have like we're going to have competitions and games and all this.
Once you crack a beer, then it's over.
God, it went out the window. Instead, we were just doing photo shoots of trying to catch Frisbees off of the raft. I'll send you some pictures. It's pretty funny.
So it has, you mentioned Donna, and it's just like a work of art, and it has a strong brand identity. The brewery has a strong brand identity. It's something you've all worked strategically on to do over the years. But why would you describe the look and the vibe of Fairweather as being so special? What would you say to that?
So Ram and his wife are kind of the team that brings all of the can and the can art to life. Whether the name comes first and Ram has an idea, he brings it to his wife and they come up with a label together, or she has a creative idea and then maybe that inspires Ram to be like, oh, this is the name of this beer and this is what I want to make. And they are an awesome little team that I don't know if I could ever do that job with my partner. I'd be like, you don't get what I'm trying to do here, do you? But she is so patient, and I mean, she's does all of the labels.
So
all
everything's
of the art.
done in house.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and she's so talented, so creative, and and really kind of gets and understands Ram, and they can just do that together. So that's a romantic little story too.
But why do you think it stands out in the marketplace?
I think there are a lot of really beautiful cans out there and eye-catching, and that was one thing we were going into the LCBO. You walk into those beer fridges and you think, holy crap, there's so many colors, so many things. Where do I look first? And honestly, as always, we just did our very best. We waited until High Grade had 7 years of brand recognition behind it before we put it into the LCBO. And because of that, I think between Toronto and KW, Hamilton, there was enough recognition. I think to get us where we needed to go. The full package of that beer, I think same thing, like High Grade being the name, super dank is kind of like this fun little nod to that Idaho 7, stank. And when we entered the LCBO too, we didn't have a commitment or couldn't find, I think, the right kind of cardboard and flat, like but to even we've had so many that were just, they collapse and this and that, like to find the right one. So we didn't want to commit to branding a bunch until we,
for sure. Yeah.
And so the first year we just had plain cardboard and it was so funny going to LCBOs. They were like, man,
just put a stamp on it.
No, they were the opposite. They were like, I could use these flats for anybody. This is great. And then everyone's like, you stand out. You look really crafty, like really small batch. We're like, crap, that wasn't the vision, but it's working. So anyways, we thought that was pretty funny.
So High Grade's the only one that's in the LCBO full time?
We, as of March, we have Priceless, our pale ale, also, which New Zealand dry hop, it's banging, little guy.
So those two beers, which one or which beer in the whole portfolio do you think would define the brewery's identity? Yeah,
High Grade is our bread and butter as far as bars and restaurants and people that come to know us. I think it reminded me a lot of, I was talking with Steph from Dominion City, and she was saying that sometimes in Ottawa, people say like the yellow beer.
Oh yeah,
that's my Ottawa brewery is Sunsplit. Yeah. And like that's what they're known as sometimes. And I think people will come and order beers in the tap room or go out to bars and they say like, it's just High Grade. It's not Fairweather.
It's not Fairweather. It's High Grade. Sure. Yeah. Once you get to that level, that's good.
It's so
that's
cool.
Good.
We're
yeah.
Like, but you also want to be like, but wait, there's more.
Yeah. Okay. With all the Fairweather talk, what's next for you and what's next for Fairweather? Any projects or big beer stuff? Oh, you mentioned the new 30 hect brew house. But what's new for what's coming down the pipeline for you and Fairweather?
Every winter, since 2018, I think was the first year we did it. We brew our Wishing Well, which is our Imperial Stout kind of like winter series. And every year I find they just get more decadent and fabulous. And, we do the overnight boil. This thing is like just rich. And I think 11.9% or whatever, how high you can go.
11.9. Weird how they all fall 11.9.
I think last year, one year we had these brulee plums with, maybe there was, and then one with coffee, coconut, all these different over the years. There was one with was it pistachios soaked in cognac or something. Oh my gosh. Whatever exciting thing Ram and Thomas kind of come up with. But they also have we all get to chat about a lot of stuff. Being so small, they'd be like, what do you think? Which is also really nice, a big team influence between a lot of people this year. I think it is there's pecans, and I saw a giant jug of local honey. So that's exciting. Still don't know the whole picture of it yet, but so that's coming out in time for our holiday market. So we every year have been doing a big Christmas market. You know our back space. It's twinkled up. It's adorable back there. And I think that'll be the first weekend of December. So I think that's 6-7.
Okay. Yep.
The Saturday, Sunday.
Yep. That's
I should really plug in the proper dates for this. That was idiot. But so we released the beer. We have a bunch of local craft vendors, and it is just an absolute party back there. Nice. It's a great time.
Is your sister going to be there with her spoons? Does she do that anymore?
Oh, I don't know. No. You know what? I think now with babies,
because I need a new one. The one I bought from her is old,
good
and
to know.
The kids my kids look at that, and I'm not going to say what it says on the spoon, but they're like, why do you guys have a spoon that says this on it? These are wooden spoons for baking. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, I need to. Let's get her on that.
Hamilton beer scene. Fairweather has played a big part in developing a Hamilton beer scene. There's a bunch of breweries out that way. So I said earlier the storyteller of Fairweather, but I also, when I see Hamilton, a lot of people think of Fairweather, but they think of Emma too.
Stop.
But so what's going on in Hamilton these days? Because I think you're one of the people that can give an accurate description of what's happening.
Cool. Yeah. I think we are so lucky. I think Hamilton, and it's kind of one of the reasons we picked Hamilton. I say we. Yeah.
Yeah, we.
Yeah. There's so many people, and especially when we opened 8 years ago, there wasn't that many breweries, you know, for having a city of over 500,000 people, even bigger now. But what I think makes the Hamilton beer scene so unique is it isn't wildly saturated. There's
it's spread out.
Yeah. There's a brewery kind of like in each kind of little nook and cranny. The funniest thing is that we are 200 meters from another brewery, Grain and Grit, but we couldn't be more different in all the best ways. They are unreal. Small. We love them. They're small, but they're really focused on community events, hosting private events and making really special moments for, they do tons of weddings and these kinds of things, where we focused a lot on releasing a new beer every week and making beer the focus. We don't have a kitchen or anything like that, so it really allows us to just dial in on beer. And then we have the greatest big brother in the world. We got Collective Arts in our backyard. Fantastic people with just like same thing that we were talking about, having a bit more time and experience. They are been so great to us. Sean and Ed, we have down the road, forever. So great. Anyone in our little neighborhood, like, oh, we don't have growler caps, or we need a bag of, flaked oats. Just, we could call anyone Merritt
Clifford,
too.
You got Merritt. You have, I'm going to forget someone, but you got a lot.
Yeah. Clifford's got kind of the East End. I'm actually real close to Clifford, which is nice. He does live music all the time. It's a cozy little neighborhood vibe. Merritt right in the heart, which is like perfect. But yeah, it's like spread out and everyone kind of has their little place. Aquanova opened up as well.
Aquanova, yep.
Yep. Okay, yeah. Which is fun. There's a little cidery right beside them, Steeltown Cider right there.
Have you guys ever thought of kind of joining together to create like the Hamilton Brewers group, or?
And I was at I think it was the Canadian Brewing Conference when it was here in Hamilton. Brad from Wellington did a chat about the bus that he's arranged.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would love to talk to the city and do a Hamilton bus route. Yeah. That would be so great on Saturdays, We started a thing years ago, and it's now not going, but it was the South Etobicoke Brewers. And I think Brad and I talked about it on the show. And it was really successful when we were in it, because there was 6 or 7 breweries in Etobicoke, and we were all working together on things anyway, so why not put a name on it? Yeah. And we had bus tours around to the different breweries and brewery tours, and did events together. So any community events, we'd work together to, our staff will work it, but we're going to have all your beers. So I think it's something Hamilton, you group together and you get some city councilors to, you want something changed, or provincial. So we'd love to do that.
I'm doing a talk at the OCB about politics and stuff, so maybe I'll bring that up.
Please.
But we're going to talk about that in a second. So So Hamilton, it's a tight knit community of brewers. Why do you think it sets it apart from other brewing regions in Ontario?
Yeah, I think that's like kind of what I had said about everyone kind of having their place and kind of doing something a little bit different. I think having someone as big and, well known as Collective Arts in our neighborhood would maybe bring people to Hamilton. And then once they're there, they say, oh, wow, there's 4 other breweries in this little town. And then meanwhile, in between all these places, the restaurant scene and everything, all the food and all the things kind of opening up in Hamilton is banging.
That's a good segue. What's up and coming? Are any new spots, breweries? You mentioned Aquanova, but any new spots to check out in Hamilton?
Yeah, I was thinking of a couple of our newer accounts and things in town, and there's on Ottawa Street a shuffleboard bar just opened called Malarkey.
Good name.
Yeah, yeah, and they're not just my parents have a shuffleboard in their garage. It's 9 feet long, and I thought that was hard. This thing's 22 feet long.
Wow.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah.
You can come have a cocktail, have a beer, and you can play shuffleboard.
Malarkey. Where are you going tonight? I'm going to drink beers at Malarkey.
Yeah, and it's right next to their other spot, the Argyle, which is a golf simulator bar, kind of thing, which is super fun. Yeah. We I think it's opening like this week or so, or just happened. Wallflower, another little cool craft joint.
Okay.
Looks like cocktails, wine. It's a very cool vibey spot. We just went in and took a peek around before they opened, and it looks great. And there's a little wine bar right off. I think it's actually on Hess. It's called Cello. And Natalie does a few shifts there, and so I went by. They got Fairweather, so it's good. But they wine focused and like small little tapas style stuff, and everything's super delish.
Yeah, years ago Hamilton exploded. Like you said, there was hardly any breweries there. Then you guys got in, and then others have come. And it seems when you do go to Hamilton, there's no shortage of options to go to a brewery or to go to a nice Mexican restaurant that serves actual Hamilton beer. And so Hamilton's really been good at supporting the Hamilton breweries as well, too.
Totally.
Yeah. Let's talk about the OCB conference, because it is taking place, it starts tonight, and it's in Hamilton in your backyard.
Yeah.
But not just that, you played a role in this year's conference. So tell me about what that role was and what it involves.
Yeah. So last year I had never really done anything like this, but they had asked, they needed some bodies for the sales panel, and they made it super general, just like open floor, like chat with people, see what they're doing. It's so nice to get everyone together and sort of be like, I don't know, I've been doing this. What are you doing? And just real talk with people. But after being on that panel, I realized there were so many more questions people had and things that I was like, there are experts for this. And for example, we had just launched in the LCBO and people were saying how do you combat D-lists? And I was like, I don't even know where I'm listed. I'm freaking out. I've got my head wrapped around it now. But then I was, and the other people were more on-prem that were on the panel. So they didn't really.
On-premise, yeah.
On-premise, yes. Licensees, bars and restaurants are their main focus. So Jeff from town, kind of the leader of the education.
He's the chair of the education committee.
Yeah. Chair, that's better than the leader. He said hey, do you want to help out, kind of put together some of these panels? Everyone has different connections and things. So I'm working with Nick from
Nick Densmore.
GLB. Bless him. He's great. And I
between the two of you, I don't know how anyone gets a word in.
we don't. We just both talk the whole time. No, he has such different. Both of us been in the industry a long time, but different approaches, different.
Yeah, he's
everything.
on the experiences side. Home delivery, retail, or not retail, but and then you're doing a lot of the LCBO and sales and on-premise stuff.
Yeah, and he his focus on events, he kind of picked 2, and then I kind of covered the other 2. So because I was on that panel last year, I thought, what, we need to separate this into an LCBO retail sort of more focused panel, and then more licensee bar restaurant sort of thing. So I got to pick all of the people, which I was like, these are people that I know that are. I wanted a variety of not only types of roles and things, but experience I think is really great because you can be a new brewery facing all these small little problems, or you can be a big brewery and you're facing big problems, or you can be in between.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool to
different perspectives for sure.
Yeah. So,
and you guys have done a great job. The agenda looks amazing. And, it's been very nice that for 7 years I was doing those education things. It's nice to have new people doing these because it does, like I said, it brings new perspective to the audience. Are you presenting this year?
I'm going to moderate.
You're going to moderating.
Yeah. One of the, I'm doing the retail, session. The one thing
retail session with convenience or?
No. So we're doing like instead of doing like the full Ask Me Anything like they had last year, what I decided to do is I picked 3 people and I said, everyone pick a topic and kind of just do like a mini presentation.
Nice.
So, I got Brad from Wellington, which is great. And he has I'm not going to tell you guys what the topics are yet because I think that it's going to be, you got to come and find out. So Brad's chatting. And then on that panel, I have Brad from Wellington, who has such a vast experience, like I think he said 20 years of beer experience. So that'll be really interesting. Mike Chalmers from Vendor as an agency that's going to bring a totally different perspective. And I think there's also a lot of people that could use what he can offer, but maybe wouldn't even know. For the people that don't know where to start, and then Quentin from Willibald, which I thought would also be a fun addition because the biggest thing I was thinking was that to represent a brand being in Toronto, but you're not from Toronto, and what that sort of is like, but also having a portfolio of not just beer.
Yeah, RTDs and they have whiskey. It's not at the LCBO, but they have whiskey and a whole bunch of different things.
It's almost gingerbread gin season.
Gin and stuff like that, So I'm doing a panel called Pints to Politics or Pints and Politics, and it's about how to establish and brew relationships, political relationships, and what that will do for your business. So that's it's on day 1 on Wednesday. So if anyone's listening today on Tuesday, this is a great opportunity to get your butts to Hamilton to the Ontario Craft Brewers Conference. But how else are you guys involved? Because I'm going over to your place on Wednesday night. So
yeah, you are.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I think BSG. I think it's BSG. It's arranging a bus to bring as many bodies as can fit on the bus. Have a little pre-party at our place, and I believe after that we maybe all. I'm not sure if it's at Collective.
It's at Collective. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Those guys know how to throw a party. So we'll all be heading out to that. But I think anytime anyone wants to pop by the brewery or anything, we're very excited to bring your beers. Let's chat beer. Everyone's excited. We want to just talk beer and hang out.
Yeah,
so.
No offense to Collective, but I think I was saying earlier that as soon as we get to Fairweather, it's going to be hard for me to leave. I'm just going to stay there. Nice. And just nice and relaxed. After everyone gets on the bus and goes back to Collective, I'll be there by myself.
No, I'm ready to party at Collective. Let's go.
So as someone who's put in a lot of time and hours, volunteer hours, to help build the education seminars, what would you want someone to take away from the conference that attends?
Yeah.
What's your goal?
Yeah, this is a big thing because you're not going to be able to please everybody. And
you can never please everyone.
No, and I think my goal was to cover a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different sizes, so that I think last year, even if it was, a little nugget from each thing that every session you go to, and you think, wow, you know what? I haven't really thought about it like that. Or, wow, we haven't reached that point yet. I think maybe we should plan for this.
Yeah.
Or simply I think about all the help we've got from other breweries and stuff too. It's such a great resource just to have these conversations.
Well, it's, I mentioned at the top, a lot of things are going on, like the low risk drinking guidelines that are happening nationally, federally, I should say, and the warning labels on alcohol that's, approaching the Senate. The theme of the conference is Stronger Together. And so what you've just described is exactly why we're doing this. It's a bunch of breweries getting together to work towards a common goal of being better, doing it together. So,
Totally.
I just wanted to say thank you too for doing the work you did on that, because as I'm the co-chair of the conference, and it's been a long time of doing a lot of work in a silo, and it's so nice to see so many different diverse and opinionated people from different areas and different breweries jump in and get the work done.
Yeah, and there's so many things to talk about this year, and it's been so busy. I feel like we're all going to be prepared with what we want to talk about. But I just think about the few weeks leading up to this has been insane.
There's going to be a lot of conversations happening too off of the education sessions. But okay, so this whole conversation has been great. Our beers are a little light. So we're going to hear a word from our friend, Mr. Octo, and come right back with some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. Hang tight.
Hey peoples, Octo here. I like a good punch-up from time to time, but after too many donuts lately, I gotta get down to my proper poundage. So my sparring partners at GLB brewed a beer just for me, Fighting Weight Session IPA. Big flavor, but it's 3.6% ABV and only 100 calories. It's the perfect beer between training sessions, then get back to some truculent head busting. Fighting Weight Session IPA from GLB, now at the LCBO and select beer stores across Ontario. Hey, losing a few never tasted so good.
Well, this is going to be challenging, I think. We're back with Emma for some rapid fire questions. She is in the hot seat and she's feeling it right now.
I'm sweating.
What beer have you been enjoying recently that is not Fairweather or Great Lakes?
I feel like you had just mentioned going to Ottawa, and I had some Vim and Vigor while I was out somewhere.
Ooh.
And dang, yes.
Yeah.
Give me all that you got.
Yeah. First question, I've already messed it up, but I was in Ottawa, and I was at this reception, and Vim and Vigor cans were there, and the tall boys, and game over. I had a bunch of them. Name one brewery that consistently impresses you.
I just had, when we were playing baseball at the at Collective.
Yep, the charity tournament.
Yeah. I was having energy drinks, and there was like fabulous non-alc options, but then also I got into the beers, and like to be able to just have such a diverse profile, like, and every time I'm there, there's something new. I think that is just like.
Oh, sorry, Collective Arts?
Collective Arts.
Okay.
Love them.
They have an energy drink?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
It is great.
Name a person or brewery in the industry that has or continues to inspire you.
I listened to the last few episodes of the show, and Catherine Earl from Steam Whistle was it was so cool listening to her story, and I love seeing powerful ladies in the industry. It's the best.
Catherine Apodesano. Pedisano.
I won't.
Did you like the part where she fell off the table? Because that was my favorite part.
Yeah.
episode.
No, but such a powerhouse, and like I loved hearing her speak about like brand and that whole like is something it's a whole new world to me, and she's a pretty amazing individual, and badass. She's done some great things. Yeah. If you could only drink one beer for the rest of your life, what would it be? I've never heard of that one. I feel like Tyler brought a flat of those of your lager with lime too. Oh my gosh.
The Dosievas?
Yes.
Dosievas.
And I actually have a hard time just not. I'm like, no, I'm not drinking it. You know what? Okay.
Yeah, those ones go down pretty
just,
easy.
That is just the most fun for me.
Best place to grab a beer in Hamilton?
I think you got to go to the Brain.
To the Brain?
To the Brain, yeah.
I thought you were going to say to Fairweather.
Oh, crap.
Best brewery you've ever toured?
Best brewery?
You've ever toured. And maybe it was one of those 50s, the 50 that you went through.
Yeah. You know what? This is less of a tour, more of a museum. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to not give in to all of this. I went to Guinness this year.
Oh, nice.
And it was
Bucket
a museum.
Yeah.
It was a museum, and it was outstanding. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Just their feel like they were the grandfather's grandfather. You know, it was.
Do you feel the Guinness was better there than it is here?
It just, they go through so much of it. It is so fresh.
Yeah.
Everyone you have, like, there's 30 plus empty kegs on a Tuesday night outside the pub. You know that it's just the freshest thing you're ever going to have.
If you weren't in the beer industry, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be in wine.
Yeah?
Or food. Yeah, same world. I don't think I could leave this world.
So the hospitality industry.
I love it. I love people. I love when people are in good moods. I like, curated, thoughtful, local.
The experience is what you're all about.
Of the terroir. Like, what can we offer in this space?
Nice. Great answer. If you could have a beer with just one person in the whole world, dead or alive, famous or not, who would you choose?
Oh, okay.
Loaded.
Okay. So I was just playing Assassin's Creed and I had a conversation with Socrates, and the way that he doesn't actually answer questions, he just questions your questions with questions. And even in this video game version of this, I was like, who am I and what, it just made me think so much and just such a different perspective. And I feel like it pulls you out of, we only know what we know. And I feel like that.
So you'd have a beer with Socrates.
Hell yeah. And I would just question everything, and it would be amazing. And they also, I feel like of that time.
You wouldn't get an answer.
No, but I think I would have gained so much knowledge.
Yeah. All right.
And they also just celebrated, everything was celebrated with
drink.
alcohol.
Yeah, with
you know what
rum.
I mean? It was, whatever wine. Oh,
wine.
Nice.
Best hangover cure, the last one.
I mean, if it's not 2 Advil and spicy ginger beer, I don't know what else.
Okay,
what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's it.
Good one. This has been wonderful, Emma. Thank you very much. It's been an amazing chat today. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too.
Such a blast. You guys are great.
I really appreciate you sharing your story, both yours and Fairweather's, and for all the work you put into the OCB conference this year. Keep doing the great things you do, and see you on the other side of the bar very soon.
Oh, thanks. See you guys all soon at the conference. Let's go.
At the conference. And that's it. That's all, folks. Episode 47 with Fairweather Emma has moved from the mash tun to the fermenters. If you enjoyed our conversation or any other episodes, please leave a review or a comment wherever you get your podcasts. Today's episode was fueled by cans of Fighting Weight Session IPA, which you can now find cans of the super delicious low-cal, low ABV beer all across Ontario at your local LCBO stores and select beer store locations. Cans are also available at both GLB retail locations, and you can find it online at greatlakesbeershop.ca for free local home delivery. You can visit us at the brewery at 30 Queen Elizabeth Boulevard in Etobicoke, or grab some delicious eats and fresh pours at our brew pub at 11 Lower Jarvis Street in Toronto. If you have any content that you'd love to hear us discuss on the show, guest ideas, or just want to tell us what you're drinking, drop us a line at podcast@greatlakesbeer.com. Until next time, please remember to keep tipping your glass of fresh JLB in the right direction. Supporting local never tasted so good.
To learn more about what's happening at Great Lakes Brewery, visit greatlakesbeer.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter, or follow Great Lakes Beer on your favorite social media platforms.